Today I'm going to be ranking every character from the Batman Ninja team from worst to best. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get started. Number 6. Batman Ninja Lord Joker. It's a shame Lord Joker has to be in the number 6 spot because I do like using a special 3. However, aside from that, everything else I just don't like, especially his passive, which is that whenever Batman is in the opponent's team, he can revive up to 2 teammates from knockout and he will bring them back with a certain amount of health. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you guys can see the problem with this passive, which is that if Batman isn't in the opponent's team, well then this passive is completely useless. If Lord Joker had other passives, then this passive would be fine, but unfortunately he doesn't. This is the only passive that he has, so that's a really big bummer. And in terms of his special abilities, there also isn't really anything interesting going on there either. His special 1 disables the opponent's fast attacks, and his special 3 does splash damage to tagged out opponents. Now honestly, disabling fast attacks after using your special 1, that sounds kind of dumb. I don't really like that idea, and the splash damage on his special 3 can be kind of cool. However, I don't know, man, I feel like I would just rather go use Raiden for his splash damage. So unfortunately, this guy falls behind in his passives and also in his special abilities. Compared to his other Batman Ninja teammates, he just doesn't keep up, and that's why he's coming in at number 6. Number 5. Batman Ninja Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn as a standalone character is far worse than Joker. However, the thing that saves her is her passive. Because with her passive, as long as she's on your roster, she doesn't have to be in the battle, your Batman Ninja teammates will be getting extra health and attack. So you don't have to waste any time building her up or, using any gear material. As long as she's on your roster, you're going to be benefiting from her passive. In terms of her special abilities, her special 2 does stun, which is arguably the worst effect in the game, and her special 3, well, I'm not really that sure because it's worded a little bit weird, but it says fires 1 to 5 shots, each dealing stated damage. I have no idea what that's talking about, so I'll just show you guys a quick clip of me using her special 3. Either way, as much as Harley Quinn is a good teammate because she's not going to be taking up any space for your 3 characters, I still wish she had something special going on for herself. Maybe they could add more passives to her, or maybe more special effects on her special abilities. That would be really cool. But as she is right now, she's coming in at number 5. Number 4. Batman Ninja Batman. Batman Ninja Batman certainly has a very interesting passive, which is that whenever he gets hit by critical attack hits or armor piercing hits, he himself will automatically perform critical attack hits or armor piercing hits for 10 seconds. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this passive just because it requires him to actually take damage, and when it comes to allowing yourself to get hit by critical attack hits, that can be kind of dangerous, especially in arena. And also keep in mind that you can't just get hit once and then block. No, once you get hit once, the AI is going to do the whole string on you, and so again, that could be very dangerous. When it comes to being attacked by armor piercing hits, I don't necessarily mind that so much, because if the opponent is going to hit you with armor piercing hits, he's going to hit you with armor piercing hits. It's not the same with critical attack because you have to allow that to happen because you have to not be blocking. But if the opponent already has armor piercing hits, at least you can benefit from it whenever he hits you. But again, I'm just not a huge fan of the fact that Batman Ninja Batman has to be taking damage in order to be doing damage. However, at least his special abilities are a little bit more interesting than Joker's and Harley Quinn's. His special 1 applies dot, and it also applies a chance for the opponent to be missing their basic attack hits. And the effect on his special 2 is kind of interesting. Whenever you use it, you have a chance of his special 3 not costing any power. Unfortunately though, his special 3 does have stun chance, which is arguably the worst effect in the game. Also, another thing that I don't like about this character is the fact that he's not really a team player. He doesn't have any passive or any effects that work for himself and for his team. However, I will say that this character is a little bit more versatile than Harley Quinn and Joker. That's why he's coming in at the number 4 spot, but I still wish he had a little bit more of team elements to him. He could be a pretty great tank, especially against armor piercing opponents, because once he gets hit by armor piercing, he himself will be doing armor piercing attacks, including his special abilities. But even then, that kind of reminds me of Joker's passive, where you need to have certain things to happen in order for this character to be great. You honestly, and I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but you could really rank the number 6, the number 5, and the number 4 spot however you want. Personally, I do think that Joker is the worst one, but if you really want to switch out Harley Quinn for Batman Ninja Batman, you could, since you don't really need to be using Batman Ninja Harley Quinn. You just need to have her in your roster. But I don't know, for me personally, I like Batman just a little bit more because he is a little bit more versatile, but he's still going to come in at the number 4 spot. Number 3. Batman Ninja Robin. Although Batman Ninja Robin is at the number 3 spot, he is a far better character than Batman, Joker, and Harley Quinn. And there's actually 2 reasons why he didn't come any higher. I'm going to get into that in just 1 second. First, I'm going to talk about his passives and then his special abilities. His first passive makes it so that whenever you start your combo meter, it will always start at 7, so it will never be below that, and you also get 7 bonus hits whenever a Batman Ninja character tags in. His second passive makes it so that you get 30% lethal attack damage for 14 seconds every single time that you land a lethal attack hit, and that stacks. And finally, his third passive makes it so that whenever the opponent misses a basic attack hit, both Robin and his teammates get 30% chance of doing lethal attack hits. This effect also stacks according to how many times your opponent misses their basic attack hits. Now, as much as I like the other two passives, I think we can all agree that the most important one and the most helpful one for the entire Batman Ninja team is the one that every single time that you land lethal attack hits, it will be doing more damage. In terms of his special abilities, his special 1 adds blind, and his special 2 drops a little hazard. It's a little banana in the animation, but whenever your opponent runs into that, they will be forced to tag out. And finally, his special 3 both armor pierces and gives you 60% of the damage that it does as health towards you. Now, this character has a lot of things going on, but we can all agree that the most important parts about him is the passive that I mentioned, that's my favorite one, and his special 3, because his special 3 heals and it also does armor piercing. All of the other effects are pretty cool in terms of being extra bonuses and extra passives. However, the one main problem that I have with this character, and the reason why he's coming in at number 3, is because he seems to have this problem with his gameplay or his mechanics or whatever you want to call it, where he freezes every once in a while. I don't like that at all, because not only are you going to be in danger from, taking damage from the opponent, but now your combo meter is broken and now you have to waste a bunch of time getting everything back in order, which is just something that I don't like dealing with. Also, as a side note, I know that some people are going to say, well, this isn't that big of a deal, especially if you have Catwoman on your team because of her immortal ability, but that's still not an excuse to have these problems with Batman Ninja Robin. It's just something that's super annoying, and if you don't have Batman Ninja Catwoman on your team, well, this is going to really suck, and you have to be very careful whenever you're using Batman Ninja Robin. Don't get me wrong though, I still love using Batman Ninja Robin, but I still face a bunch of problems that I felt should have been dealt with a long time ago by NetherRealm, but they're just not. And when I was making this ranking, I had a very hard time putting Batman Ninja Robin at the number 3 spot because I really wanted to put him at the number 2 spot, but right now when I talk about whoever's on the number 2 spot, I will explain why I put Batman Ninja Robin in the number 3 spot. I know I just said the word spot a bunch of times, so let's just move on to number 2. Number 2, Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. Like Robin, Grodd has a lot of different things going on for him, but I just don't use most of it. However, he's still a pretty great support character. My favorite passive of his is his passive 3, which is that every single time that Batman Ninja teammates land an unblocked lethal attack hit, they will gain 0.5 bars of power. So whenever you do your combo string, you're going to be generating power very fast, which in turn is going to allow you to use your special abilities very fast. I also enjoy his passive 1, which is that you get damage bonuses on every 5th successful basic or swipe attack. And in addition, every single time that you do that, you will also decrease the defense and the amount of damage that your opponent has. These two passives are really great for both raids and arena because it allows your characters to be doing a lot of damage even if you don't have a ton of attack. Finally, his second passive makes it so that whenever he's at 30% of health, Gorilla Grodd temporarily boosts his lethal attack chance and heals himself for a percentage of basic and swipe attack damage dealt. Even though this passive can be pretty useful, I personally just use Gorilla Grodd as support, so I don't really tend to use this passive usually. In terms of his special abilities, his special 1 does more damage to blind opponents, his special 2 is a reflective shield, we all know how broken that is, and his special 3 gives a healing boost to all of his teammates for a certain amount of time. Again, these special abilities could be pretty useful, but I just use Gorilla Grodd as support, and that's actually a pretty big reason as to why he's coming in at number 2. I wanted to put him at number 3 because even though he's a great support, it's really hard to get his gears and to get his shards, but since usually for me, as long as I've unlocked him and as long as I've promoted him, I don't really tend to use him for anything else. He's kind of like Harley Quinn in the sense that he's a really great support character, except that this guy adds a ton of amazing buffs, and since he's supposed to be a supportive character, you can obviously tell that because you have other really great damage dealers in the Batman Ninja team. He fits that really well. When it comes to Batman Ninja Robin, I had to put him at number 3 because even though he's a really great damage dealer, there are some things stopping him from doing a ton of damage. I hope I explained the way that I thought about this correctly to you guys, and I hope it's not too confusing, but basically, Gorilla Grodd is going to come in at number 2. Number 1, Batman Ninja Catwoman. I don't think anyone is surprised, and honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about this character. She's both an amazing damage dealer and an amazing support character for her team. So I'm just going to go ahead and sound like a robot and list everything amazing about her, from her passives to her special abilities. Her immortal passive allows you not to die from anything for 9 seconds when below 15% health. Her passive 1 adds blind for 12 seconds to the opponent after she uses any special ability. Her passive 3 gives you 60% of power of the opponent's special ability if you block it. And if the block is from Catwoman Catwoman herself, her special 3 will trigger for no power cost. Moving on to her special abilities, her special 1 does more damage to blind opponents. Her special 2 does damage over time, and 200% of that damage will go to you as health. Her special 3 reduces the power generation for the opponent, and it also gives her more lethal attack chance. Although this character isn't the strongest character in the game or the best damage dealer or anything like that, she's still an amazing character because of all of the amazing passives that she has and because of all of the amazing effects that her special abilities have as well. That's why she's coming in at number 1. Anyways guys, that's the list. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on a lot of these numbers. I think we can all agree though that Catwoman is number 1. A lot of people might say that maybe Batman Ninja Robin is number 2, that Gorilla Grodd is number 3, that Harley Quinn should be number 6. I think a lot of people are gonna have a lot of different opinions for this one. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.